Well, good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Model Kit Beginner. Today we're gonna have a look at the Olsonite Eagle right over here. Here we go. Managed. Yeah, that's the one from Dan Gurney. Let's have a quick look around the box. Well, you saw the front. You'll see we have two different engine options. Let's just get the lights out of the way. Here we go. Two different engine options. Very nice. This side is just way, and then some racing with Gurney and Hume, who were both the drivers when Gurney was on the Formula One circuit, and he won in Francorchamps Spa in the Great Prix of Belgium, which is wonderful. It's a great story of a privateer who basically did his thing, built his car, and actually won a race with it, which is something which is obviously not possible anymore today. Right, but I thought what we gonna do. Oh yeah, there's something at the back as well. I'm gonna show you. One way around. Gives you a little bit about the history. Let us see what it says. Oh yeah, it says it asks you to keep the address, which is in Europe, would be in the UK, in Canada, and in Iowa. Who knows if this is all accurate, because this kit is not today's kit. This kit has come out some time ago. How long ago? Well, I suggest we're gonna have a quick look at the history of this kit. Right, see you there. Right, here we are on Scalemates, having a quick look where that Olsonite Eagle comes from. It is a MPC kit. This one is a Rebox from 1995, 125 as we have seen, and it is part of the All-American Racer series. Here we have the history. It came out in 1969. Then we have an MPC Cola kit right over here, 1974, and then obviously the one which we have today. If you look at the full history, you'll see some Indy cars from AMT, which are also called Olsonite, which will be part of the history. And if you look at the real history, we see that Anglo-American racers, Dan Gurney's cars with the Westlake engine, they had the Climax and the Westlake. It's those type of engines you have. That's why you have two different engines in the kit, which we'll see once we get down to the bench, and which we have seen on the box already. And you see lots of retired, but they were privateers, and they were fantastic. And obviously the big one is Francorchamps Spa in Belgium, where they won the race in 1967. Very proud moment indeed. And that's it. That's more or less what we have about the Olsonite Eagle from Dan Gurney, released by the fine folks over from MPC. So let's go down to the bench and see what's in the box. As we said, originally a 1969 kit. So expectations should be accordingly. See you at the bench. And here we are down at the bench, looking at Dan Gurney's Olsonite Eagle from the fine folks over at MPC. So let's open the box, get the lid off. We have the instruction manual. We have a box with parts, some of them loose, in light grey plastic, and something here at the back. Exciting stuff. We'll see in a minute what that is about. We have a rubber sprue with a seat and what appears to be seat belts right over here. We have a sprue with chrome parts. Have a look at that as well, of course. Then we have glass, which is just bouncing around here. It is a 1969 kit, huh? It is. And we have a couple of tires. There you go. And we have a decal sheet. Right. So I would say before we jump into any of this, let's have a quick look at the instruction sheet. So here it is, Olsonite Eagle, as we saw. Gives you an idea how to build models or how you did it in the end 60s. Then it tells you how to go about building the body, and it also tells you to leave it apart first, which obviously is not what we want. It gives you all the instructions due to greater energy by the moistness surface. Okay. Painting and applying decals must be completed prior to any assembly. Let decals and paint dry thoroughly before you begin assembling your model. Now, there's the engines. You can make your decisions between two different engines, depending if Humes or Gurney are your drivers. Here's the wheel assembly. Now, here's the interesting part. You get this inside pan, which I assume we will see in a minute, and then you get the two outer sides. Now, I wonder, for ease of painting, if you couldn't put these two, together first, and then, start painting and that kind of stuff. But we will find out about that, and it doesn't say actually what color this should be inside. I would assume it's rather black. And yeah, so there is some room for interpretation. I can tell you that for nothing, and you need to see if your engine fits still in once you have put those shells around it. That probably will be the decisive factor, I suppose. Yeah, interesting stuff. And all the suspension parts, lots of them are in pre-chromed. Here we go, same here. Front suspension, quite exciting stuff. Then wheels come on, the seat and the seat belts. Then we have the very final assembly, which means you put on the backside the nose, another cover over here, and obviously the top cover with the little window. And there it tells you a little bit more about the Olsonite Eagle and Dan Gurney. And here it even tells you can cut this out and make it a stand and present it together when you display your model. Alrighty then. But at the moment we're not going to do any of this. At the moment we're going to have a quick look at the decal sheet, which we have over here. Now that's not bad. Maybe so. It is a relatively recent repop, and therefore these decals don't look too bad at all. If they go down easily, I don't know. But here you see they even tell you which ones are right and which ones are left, which is very nice. That'll help a lot. And we take it from here. And you have the two different numbers of Humes and Gurney. Right, we have seen the clear part, which was bobbing around on its own, and it doesn't seem too much damage. A little bit of spit and polish should bring it up to a decent quality. Not bad, actually, not bad. Then we saw the tires. Here they are, a lot of them. Let's start our manual zoom. Bzzz. Here we go. Right, this is the rear tire, and that doesn't look bad at all. I don't think there is nothing in the middle. There's no seam. There is this little thing which you need to cut out, and it is branded Goodyear because that's what they had, Goodyear tires. Here you go, branded on both sides. And the front tires are also very nice. Also branded. Very, very nice tires. Not too hard. I think they're pretty good for looking at the vintage of the kit. Not bad at all. Then we have a look at, where did I put my... I just cleaned up the area here and I put everything somewhere safe, which means I can't find it anymore. But that doesn't really matter, we have more than one. Let's cut this open. Right. We have the chrome parts right over here. And let's have a look at that a bit closer. Yeah, there needs to be some serious dechroming to be done. At the springs, some of the construction parts. The chrome itself is not bad. It's not overly thick, not at all. And some of it you might be able to help to rescue. Some of it you might want to and re-chrome. It all depends how you look at it. Right, those are the chrome parts. The chrome plating is not bad, as they did with kits of this vintage. Unfortunately, the points where the parts are attached to the sprue are sometimes means that you will have to damage the chrome surface, and you then have to decide yourself what you will be able to touch up and where you just need to dechrome and rechrome. And for example, the pedals, I'm sure there shouldn't be chrome. And some other parts. So yeah, you need to make a decision there what you're going to chrome and what you're not going to chrome, but what you leave chromed will not be bad. It's the chrome plating is not horrible at all. And let's have a look at this wonderful bag over here. There are all the non-chrome parts, non-chrome, non-clear parts. Here we go. Simply just do this. Make sure we get everything out. Don't lose anything. Right. Let's just start with the loose parts. We have a steering wheel right over here, which actually looks pretty good. Very nice. It's a bit of cleanup, but they all do, but otherwise, very nice detail on that steering wheel. I like that a lot. We have the nose part. Here you go. That needs some tender loving care, but yeah, otherwise. The plastic is not too soft, not too hard. It's actually quite nice plastic. And yeah, you can just clean this up and go from there. And this is that famous part which we were talking about. Let's just have a quick look here. What happens when I put this one over there? Because that's yeah, you should be able to fit the engine in. No problems whatsoever. So this part goes there, and the other part goes there, and the other part goes on top. So you have to finish them all apart, and then you assemble them together. All right. Well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So I was talking a little bit of nonsense when we were, so unlike me when we were doing. So you're not going to put the body together. This part of the body comes this side, this part comes this side, the nose comes this side, this stays the bottom. So that's how it's going to work. So that's all right. Yeah, that will be fine. Right, and this is the center part, which is basically the decisive backbone of the car, if you want so, where everything attaches to. And it feels hugely stable and certainly should do the job well. It's very flat, so that's fine. No problems there. Well, we have that in the we have the back part right over here. Some of the side parts, we have seen the side with raised details. So careful with the cleanup here. You don't destroy too many of those raised details, otherwise you'll find yourself repopping all those rivets. That probably you don't want to do. Right, but otherwise the detail is not bad. Here we go, let's go a bit closer so you can see it. Can you see it? Yeah, I think you get an idea. That's pretty nice detail. It really is. Not bad at all. Right, let's see what else we have. There's some loose parts, so let's have maybe get rid of those first. There's a mounting piece. I think that goes to the front if I remember correctly, looking at the instruction sheet. Here we have a header exhaust combination. Very nice. Put your hand away so the camera can focus on the piece, on the part. Here you go. That looks very nice, very intricate. bit of cleanup, you should be able to make this a very nice piece. If you decide to use this part of exhaust system, or if you choose to use a different one, here is the second option. Part of the engines over here, these are still engines which we all can identify with, we all recognize parts of, which is very nice. Here goes valve covers and so on and so forth. Block of the V8 right over here. Wheels, here we go, this one is busy falling off. Here we go, part of the wheels, wheel structure. Not sure if that's supposed to be the brakes. Well, that, if it is, that would lend itself to do some extra detailing, maybe some scratch building, etc. And this is obviously the lid, the top lid, also with raised details on it, so careful when cleaning up. Here we have other body parts right over here. Internal, mostly internal, but some external structure. Here you go. And then we have engine parts, mostly engine parts, right over here. Suspension parts as well. And grille right over there. All in all, I must say, it's not bad. It's not flashy. It has seams, of course, and it needs a clean up. But for a repop of a 69 kit, it's not bad at all. We have the dashboard, which is very nice right over here. And actually didn't even look, but looking at the decal sheet, there are no decals for the dashboard, so you detail that yourself. And then we had this one in with an invitation to subscribe to Blueprinter. Information on new AMT releases. Question. I don't know if this still exists. The Ertl Blueprinter. I somehow doubt it, but obviously we'll keep it because it was part of the box. Right. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This was the Olsonite Eagle from Dan Gurney. Wonderful car, certainly a historic car, and everybody who saw him racing at Spa in those days will certainly not forget about it. But thanks very much for popping in, and I think the time has come where I'll tell you what I think about this kit, and whether I like it or not. You might have guessed the result of that one already, but I'll see you upstairs again. Cheers. And here we are. That was the Olsonite Eagle from Dan Gurney, from the fine folks over at MPC. This kit over here, very, very nice kit. Obviously it's a 1969 kit, but that 95 repop looks very clean. Bit of tender loving care, and you should be able to build a fine model. You might want to, do a little bit of scratch building on the brakes and some other parts, but apart from that, you have a very, very good base to work from. And I certainly, if you have a chance to get one of those and you are interested into Formula One history, and especially some special privateer cars, not the normal usual Ferraris and McLarens and those, obviously the Climax commentaries and whatever was around there in those days were the big factory teams, but he also had the Dan Gurneys who drove around their own cars for the All-American racers. And that was fantastic. I like these guys. I love it that they won a Grand Prix in 1967 in Francorchamps Spa, which was a very scary track. And it's a scary track today, but in those days it was a very, very scary ride, up there with the Nordschleife, the Nürburgring Ring, which also was not an easy one. Wonderful, wonderful car, wonderful piece of history, a great kit. And so if you're interested in that, it's an absolute must that you get one of those if you have a chance to do so. Well, thanks very much for popping in. Hope you all enjoyed that. Have a wonderful day further, and greetings from Cape Town. Cheers.